I'm sorry if I sound stuffy. Like my head is in a bottle because I am sick. That and I want to kind of kick it old school, do a picture with a audio deal. I haven't done that in a while. And that, and also because I look ridiculous right now. I was trying on some new shaving cream, shaved really really smooth, and I don't have one of those tough guy chins, so I kind of have like a not a well looking chin neck ratio. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, this is a movie review, and I'm doing this before I go insane because I haven't done nothing, and I'm literally staring at floor walls and they're closing in on me. So I'm gonna give you guys a review of a movie that I saw recently before I became sick, and I really enjoyed it. It was a hidden gem. It was released in 2015, and I truly mean hidden gem because, believe it or not, the movie is called Hidden. And yeah, kind of slipped right under the radar there. All right, so let me talk to you about the premise. So it's basically this family that takes refuge in a bomb shelter. Their town that they live in looks like Midwest America. All of a sudden, it gets like red alert. Everyone's panicking and screaming, and these are all told in flashback. By the way, it's like we open up with the family trying to cope with living in a bomb shelter. So we get bits and pieces of what's going on. We know it's something horrible. There's a quarantine. Uh, like I said, their town is getting bombed at some point, and we're given really really thin bits of detail, and that's to make up for this epic ending that we got, which has really caught me off guard. Like I thought I knew it, but then did like a 360. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, his family's trying to cope, trying to keep really low key. All of a sudden, like a rat kind of stumbles upon their like their canned food and their rations, and they're not too happy about that. Meanwhile, there's like a fire that goes in. These are all different things that happen that tragically disrupt this family trying to survive this apocalyptic surrounding while they're in this bomb shelter. But they manage. But at the same time, they're worried about these mysterious people above, so they're trying to keep quiet. And the daughter, doesn't quite understand, so she does a few things that, arouse suspicion up top. And sure enough, from everything that's going on, people start wandering in, and it kind of picks up really, really quick because we're trying to figure out, well, who's trying to get in, you know, and at base, this looks like a standard post-apocalyptic zombie film. We're all gonna assume that, oh, these must be infected people trying to get in, because that's what I thought. Or I was gonna go the opposite direction, say, okay, well maybe the family's insane and they just kidnapped this poor girl that they say that's their daughter, and the villagers or whoever are trying to break into this thing to get this girl out. You know, because that was another scenario I was gonna go for, but I was wrong again. So this is where I'm gonna spoil it in case you haven't seen it. Regardless, I still think you should see this movie, and I'll get to that in a minute. So the directors you guys might recognize, and an actor here you might recognize too. But let me talk about the directors. So Matt Doofer and Ross Doofer. Sorry if I messed up their names, but anyway, these two brothers here did Stranger Things. I'm not sure if they directed Stranger Things. I think they produced it and directed it. Not sure. Anyway, I know they're involved heavily with Stranger Things. So this was kind of like this movie I'm talking about. Hidden was like a film debut for them. They did other stuff, but this one kind of like took the cake. Got the steam rolling here for them. And I gotta say, I was pretty impressed. I mean, it's not the best movie of the genre I've seen, but definitely, like I said, I'm a stickler for endings, and this really stood out to me. So there you go. You got the brilliant minds behind Stranger Things doing this movie, and it shows definitely. Another familiar face, an actor, Alexander Skarsgård. You might recognize the last name, or you might recognize that actor in general. True Blood and all those other films he was in. His brother Bill Skarsgård played in he played the clown Pennywise and the remake of it. Big family, by the way. The Skarsgårds are a big acting family. Think of the Baldwins, just Swedish. Anyway, everyone did a fine job, I think, for being a low budget film and pretty much centered it just in one spot. And the flashbacks really flesh it out. Kind of like reminded me of like a really private Walking Dead episode where someone's telling what they experienced pretty much in flashbacks. That's what it felt like. So when the climax happens and these, what we think creatures break in, uh, lo and behold, they're military. Yeah, like dudes in gas masks. They kind of look like, the hung character from Resident Evil 2, the video game. So they're all gas masked up, assault rifles, helicopters flying by. And the mother and daughter are freaking out because a big fire happens, to block these things from getting in their little bomb shelter, right? Everything's all chaotic. The dad, gets dragged back down. That they find like a shaft to get out of the bomb shelter. Everything's going chaotic, and we're just seeing like glimpse of like blood, splatter. Where the father was like kind of like sucked down, and so we think he's gone. Family takes off running. She thinks these things are pursuing her, and sure enough, they are. And like I said, it's the military, and more confusion sets in. So I'm like, well, what's this about? And then it dawned on me what this movie was about. Quarantine, air raids on entire places. It's definitely a virus kind of movie. Maybe a zombie movie, but I didn't know how they would take this idea and make it, original. Here we go. So the mom and daughter get captured, and the mom starts freaking out. And before you know it, like kind of like how a werewolf would change, or the Incredible Hulk would change when he gets angry. The mom starts like freaking out, and her veins pop out, and she turns into like this, super energized zombie. And we're all like, oh. So now it comes into picture. So, long story short, this family was infected from the very beginning, and just were able to somehow control it. I didn't see this, and this is why this movie really stood out to me. So anyway, they're trying to be apprehended. Father comes around, saves them, but he gets gunned down by a second military team. Now the mom kind of like takes revenge. Even the daughter, she mutates. There's a whole family of infected. And they manage to escape. The military are pretty much like decimated at this point. But there's still like helicopters in the air looking for them, and they make their way to another underground. Looks like a sewer system or a water system, and there's the rest of the town folks just hiding out like in tunnels, and that's where it kind of leaves us. I would have liked it be more touched on that. I'm like, because I thought it was a great concept. We rarely see movies told by the infected point of view because they're just not stable. They're not, comprehensive enough to use dialogue or whatever. I would always like to see a movie of a guy being, changed into a zombie and maybe kind of keeping fragments of his life, but I guess that wouldn't probably play right. But this definitely took the cake for me, and I applaud it for being original. Or at least taking something that has been done before and turning it on its head. Because now it's like, well, who do you vote for? Who do you root for? It's just a family trying to, make by given their circumstances. And at the other point, it's the military trying to squash a problem that could, potentially wipe out humanity. Or change humanity, definitely. And that's what left me off. These people that were left, the villagers that were infected, were able to, maintain their humanity, unless they were agitated, underground. And that's where it kind of left us off. But despite the real ambiguous ending there, like I said, I thought it was really great. Not too, it's not even like a slow burn because it's meant to, kind of like leave you in the dark, literally, and guess what is going to happen next. What's going to go through this family's head, how they're going to defend themselves, in this really tight situation. Because I'll be honest, like I said, the movie Kind of reminded me of 10 Cloverfield Lane, so it's very claustrophobic, underground bunker kind of film. But this definitely, it's actually, I'm sad that I didn't see it. I remember this is released in 2015, so almost 2022. It's definitely worth a view. Even if you're fans of Stranger Things, you'll definitely see that vibe in this, and it's because of the directors slash producers who did Stranger Things also did this, like I mentioned before. So yeah, Hidden, 2015. Definitely give it a whirl. Check it out for yourself, and if you want, let me know what you think. But like I said, definitely worth it because of using a tried post-apocalyptic scenario and adding some original flavor to it, or at least attempting to, and confusing us in the process, and leaving us, well, me anyway, wanting more. So, yep. Hidden 2015 from directors Matt Doofer and Ross Doofer. Check it out, guys. All right. Thanks for listening, and see you all or hear from you all very soon. All right. Peace.